Hey everybody, welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Gas Course project, an action RPG built from scratch using the Gameplay Ability System plugin, C++, blueprints, all that good stuff. So last time we were working on the project, we were working on our input buffering component, and I don't know if I did it during the live stream, but while I was working on it, I was trying to get it to work for the client, for clients in our multiplayer game, and I'm getting a crash currently. And it's mostly because I think I need to, instead of doing it in begin play, where I'm kind of getting these things and binding and everything like that, I need to do it externally. Like I have a unique function that just says, initialize buffer component and have that call at a different place. So that's what we're going to try to do today. We're going to see if we can fix that bug. And if we're able to do that, and we can clean up our blueprints and see what we need to do from there, but I think that should be everything we need for the input buffer component at this time. And then we could probably jump into some other things. Because I would like to see if we can get, like for example, our dodge ability. It would be cool to be able to have like ability stacks so that you can, with that, before it goes into like, full complete cooldown and you can't use it anymore, you have like 3 stacks, similar to like how Tracer, her kind of blink ability works. You get certain amount of charges and it kind of restacks over time. So I want to see if I can go ahead and do that. I'll probably need a unique kind of extended gameplay ability class for that, but I think that will be pretty cool. And it'll be fun to learn. But I also said I would potentially want to have like I am GUI for my input buffer system component and see if I can like hook it into that toggle, like that cog UI stuff. So I'm curious if I want to do that and kind of go through that trouble. Like definitely gonna be some work and some stuff to learn there in order to do that, but maybe it'll be worth doing. So we can figure that out too over time. So yeah, we got a lot to do. So we can just kind of jump into it. So let's try to fix this bug with clients and it not loading correctly. So I'm not going to prove the point that it doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. So what I would want to do in the header file here, I'll probably have to make a new function here. So u function. I don't want it to be blueprint callable or anything like that. I want to say like initialize. So it already has like an initialized component. What does that even do? I guess we can look into the base component here. Oops. Initialized component has been initialized. So initialize of the component occurs at level startup or actor spawn. This is before begin play. So if this is before begin play, we definitely don't want it because begin play is already too early, I think. So I think we'll have to make a custom one here. So we're going to do, so void initialize input buffer component. We'll go ahead and generate that. Pretty much take everything from begin play out. Put it here. And again, this is a player only component because it's input buffer. So we should be able to find a place in our player character, because I believe first we tried to do it in the player controller, which I think was maybe not a good idea, not sure. It could be maybe a good place to do it. We might want to rethink it, but for now we'll just try it within the character like we have already. And we already had this manual like input blueprint input buffer component, but I'm going to delete that so that I can add it into C++. So let's go into our player character class. Hey, how's it going? MVRKKE. I don't know how to say that. Mvrka. How's it going? Thanks for stopping in. So let's find where we're putting all our components here. We have this stuff here. So let me grab the camera component. I will add a mark. Oh, okay. So you input buffer component. No, don't want to do that. Input buffer component, all good. Now we can go into our player character, and where should I do? On initialization for sure. We can do input buffer component equals create default sub object gas input buffer component, include it, text input buffer component. That all good. Now to find the best place to actually invoke this initialization. I think in the base class, so you've downloaded Unreal Engine recently. How long have you been doing game dev? Professionally, I've been doing game dev for almost a decade, around 8 or 9 years. But I started learning game dev in school, in college, and that was like almost 12, 13 years ago. But professionally, only about 8. So let's look at our base character class, because I know in there, I believe I'm calling something for the health component. Some sort of initialization, if I'm not mistaken. So there's post-initialized components. I kind of want to know what that is doing. Because obviously it's after the components are initialized, but I do wonder what is available at that point. Is the character valid? I don't know, actually. Let's see if we can find where the health component is. It's on begin play. Okay. Maybe we can get away with on begin play or on rep player controller. And how long with Unreal Engine? About that same amount of time. I've been working with Unreal Engine since Unreal Engine 3 or UDK. And then I worked with Unreal 4 and now Unreal 5. So there is this on rep player state. So this is where the player controller is going to be valid. I wonder if that's a good place to do it. Or if I should just stick to, like, you know, on begin play. Or if I do move it back to a player controller component, that would be better. Let's just try on begin play and kind of work. Because there is also possessed by. Maybe that also could work. So let's just do begin play. What are your specs? Are you meaning computer specs? Because yeah, this isn't really a custom built PC. I bought this just from some store. I know it's a 4090 graphics card. NVIDIA. I think only 32 gigs of RAM, which is not that great. I don't know what kind of motherboard I have. I think I could just look this up, right? System information. System model, Predator this. Processor, I have an i9 13900KS. I think that's decent. I don't really know computers too uber well to say if it's good or not, but yeah, that's more or less what I'm working with. Let's see if initialized component here is valid. Let's try to compile that and we'll see what's good. Because again, it was pretty clear it was a problem before, because I was just crashing immediately when spawning with the client. But now, you know, begin play here is just doing super, and now we have this initialize. Input buffer. Does it work good for huge games? Yeah, I think it's pretty good for huge games. I'm playing Cyberpunk, and that's pretty big. And I'm playing on all high settings. I am using frame generation a little bit, and I'm always getting around like 60, uh, 60 to 80 FPS. But yeah, we can see some problems that I get here. I don't know how well you'll see that, but it fails because there's not enough internal heap limit is reached. So I can't remember how to fix that. Maybe the AI assistants can tell me. Doesn't really help, but let's try compiling again and see what happens. Have I tried the new Black Ops? No, I haven't. I'm not much of a competitive shooter kind of guy. Maybe I would play it for like the story, but that's not really my vibe. Right now, I'm going through Cyberpunk, and then I want to go through Black Myth Wukong, and I want to go through this basically a huge library of games that I have to go through. So I think I have, what's the name? The Axis Unseen. I want to play through this game. It's made by one of the developers from Bethesda. It's not much. I think it's primarily a solo game. I'm sure he had some help, but looks pretty interesting. I want to give it a go. Maybe I'll play that before I go through Black Myth Wukong. But yeah, my back catalog of games is pretty ridiculous, and I keep adding to it. What's this IDE? This is Writer. I'm not a fan of Visual Studio. I preferred Writer. I forget who I saw using it. Someone on YouTube, some Unreal developer tutorial guy who was using it. I looked into it. Now there's a lot of good support for Writer with Unreal. I think there's a free version, so if that interests you, go for it. Okay, so here's our input buffer component, right? I could override it with my blueprint. I'm going to eventually get rid of the blueprint. I really shouldn't be doing anything with it now. Yeah, it's pretty empty. So maybe for the sake of doing that, I'll just put it as the base class thing, and then I'll get rid of it later. So let's see if we crash first and foremost, right? Okay, wait. No, there's an error. Okay, so we should be able to just get the input buffer component. So yeah, this is where we're opening and closing the buffer within an animation notify state. So on tick, I believe, yeah. This should compile now. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're in as the client. Okay, so the input buffer doesn't work. Let's double check with server. Okay, so it doesn't work with server either. Maybe I'm not putting some information in. Oh, I think I know the reason. So we do need the input buffer component within the blueprint, because the blueprint initializes this variable, I think. No? Wait. When it replicates, replication. Or am I crazy? Let's see what happens. Okay, so it doesn't initialize. Put a breakpoint here. Okay. Oh, I'm calling initialize component, not my custom one. Oopsie. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So let's fix that. So instead of calling initialize component, we do initialize input buffer component. We should be able to just do hot reload here. What's this game about? Honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm just using this project as like a learning experience and sharing knowledge of what I'm learning about. I just kind of want to make an action RPG, maybe some sort of like, I wouldn't say bullet hell, but like some arcadey arena based action game where you can use like abilities and just destroy waves of enemies and stuff like that. So that's right now the premise, and I would like to add like a scoring system. When you kill enemies in a certain way, where you do certain actions, you get a lot of points, and you just kind of build up a high score, and you only have like one life or something. And it can kind of work similarly to a roguelike, where after each round or after each wave or whatever spec it is, you gain experience points, you can buy upgrades, you can do all these things and kind of just keep building and building and finding more and more enemies. It's definitely going very slow. I'm not doing much with AI almost at all. I'm just playing around with player mechanics and trying to build a decent foundation there. Eventually we'll have to do AI, which I'm not looking forward to, but it's got to be done at some point. So yeah. So we have this, let's see. Yes, now our input buffer is working. So, because when I double tap, it'll dodge again, right? So let's see now if it is working for the client. Okay. So we're still getting this crash, which is interesting. So at this point, the enhanced input buffer is not valid. I'm curious why. Because yeah, cast checked. I don't know. Do I want it to kind of crash out like that? Probably not. Like this is valid. Owning character is valid. Is the input component valid? No, not yet. So maybe the input buffer component should be initialized where I'm doing the input stuff. So inside the player character, I can just let me nuke that. There should be like a setup input component somewhere, like on possessed by. We're doing all this subsystem, unpossessed. This is the input buffer component, right? So maybe this is better. So let's recompile that. Let's see if the game craps its pants when we spawn as the client again. Because we have a pretty deep backlog of things to work on and to make, but it's good to have things to do, because eventually, like, I would like to have different classes, and this current class is like a elf magey kind of guy where he has his hands and he can just like kind of throw fireballs and stuff, and he's like an elemental based thing. But I also have some assets from the marketplace for, I guess, knights. So it would be cool to start setting up melee related things. We'll just have to see. But again, I don't know how far I'll take this project, honestly. I'm having a lot of fun with it, but maybe sooner or later I should put out a demo for people on the Discord. Maybe they'll want to play it and just check it out and give me feedback. But even in order to do that, I need to, kind kind of make some sort of structure or game around what I'm doing. You know, it can't just be, you know, maybe it could be just a simple playground that you can just spawn enemies and they just do something, or I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe they can just do damage on when they touch you, and you know, you want to like try to survive, I guess. Okay. So let's see. Again, we're gonna play as client. Let's see if we crash. Okay, we don't crash. Whoops, sorry. That's good. Okay, but the buffer doesn't really work. Okay. Can we figure out why? Okay. Whoops. So bindability actions, input config. Okay. So we get there. Now, do we get here, I guess, is the question. So we do get there. So why is the tag name none? Okay. Let's do a log here. Log temp, warning, text. Oops. I say input tag string. I'd like to know if it is really printing or is really showing none. You know, 'cause that's weird, and I'm not sure why. Because like it should be valid when I'm doing similar things here. Like I do bind actions, right? Oops. There is this like input tag here. So yeah, this also says bind ACI input. I don't know if that's the case. Let's see. I should also just play in the viewport so I can read the output log here. So yeah, it doesn't print anything, interestingly enough. Try again. Yeah, okay, so the fact that it says tag name none 2088. Maybe that's because it's not a tag and it's gonna print empty? Maybe? Do I have to make this a specific kind of function? like, you know, server only, something like that. Let's look at our health component. Do we do anything specific? So there's properties, there's this server reliable one. Maybe that's the kind of function it needs to be. Oops. So definite function, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's try that. Because either this has to be done from the server, like the server has to be the one that binds it and responds to it, or maybe buffer tags needs to be replicated, maybe. Because yeah, ultimately this is failing because of something here. So let's see. Because I wonder what I can do to try to fix this. Or at least iterate on it faster. Because yeah, compiling through code takes a little bit of time. I guess I gotta think about this, right? Like, when we're buffering the input, I guess the server should be the authority there, where like, did you really buffer this, you know? And if not, you know, too bad, you know? Well, let's see. So again, I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. No, I'll put it here. Because maybe be input buffer open. I don't know if like things need to be replicated or not, and like what properties should and shouldn't be replicated. So it's gonna be a trial and error kind of thing. Okay. So we crashed. Okay. So I guess that we can't do it that way. Can this be like client? Let's see what happens. Just see if it crashes, I guess. Maybe I can ask the AI assistant for some assistance. UE5 C++ replicate bind ability actions. Okay, no. I wonder if I can like make this not its own component and just do it within the character, but I feel like that's just, you know, it is not that much logic. So I am curious if that could work actually. Because yeah, it's like right here. Just all there is. Or if it can go into the player, like the controller, you know? Like, why does it have to be its own component? We'll just see what happens here first. We'll see if we crash out again. Okay. Okay, we got here. Input tag. Illegal name. Okay. So I do get input.nativeaction.evade. Which is interesting. Let me get to here. Buffered input tags. It does say it's empty, right? Okay. Do I have to make that a replicated property, maybe? Because in the health component, we have this thing. Guess we could do something similar. Under protected. And I'm curious as well, should I make this server reliable? Let's say implementation. Kind of just throwing guesses out here. So where's the health component? CPP. It's here. Something like this. We want to do buffered input tags. Like that. Maybe? Let's see. Because yeah, when we're initializing this, we're doing server initialize health attributes. Okay, so replicated functions can't have return values. Okay. Void. Let's just see. Void. That should be kosher. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure if this is even going to work, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Moment of truth, mayhaps? Because my assumption is, like, I don't know if, like, the server's going to be doing anything. you know? So I'm curious if it'll just kind of poop out nothing. I just need to figure out, how to make sure the tag gets passed in correctly. Because the next thing I'll try if this doesn't work is maybe just building it into the player controller. But it'd be nice to have it as its own separate component, but maybe it's not necessary. Okay. So we crashed immediately. Why? What happened? Okay. I mean, the order doesn't really matter, right? So the array of lifetime replicate properties to be populated. And then it gets here, right? So what is the... Okay, because it's not set to replicate. So I have to make the... Is it because it's private? Or it's just like replicated? Let's just see if that does anything for us. Wonder if there's anything the AI assistant could say about this. UE5 C++ client replicated input buffering. So it can be somewhat complex. Crap, okay. Okay, so at least it gives us some examples. But yeah, this is in the... During this in the character, right? So maybe I could just put this into my character. So at least it compiled. Will it play? Yes. Okay. So what happens when we get... Do we even get here? Okay. So again, it is empty. Interesting. What can I try here? So server, reliable. Client, reliable. Maybe this doesn't need to be client or anything. I'm not sure if hot reloads could be a smart idea, but we're going to try it. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. It still doesn't go through. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Because, like, the tag illegal name. Maybe I have to do. What do I want to try to do? Because I know I have. So server, initialize, all that stuff. Play. Maybe I have to like replicate. Some way. Because it does print correctly. Let's see. Open. This input triggered thing can't be any specific type of function. No. Is that all still legal? Let's see. Not even sure if this will compile or not, but okay. Looks close. Again, I want to stay here. Still empty. So again, yeah, tag name. Weird. Um. Can I say like, you function client? Hmm. So void add tag to buffer underscore server, I guess. Can I say um, I need this. Now can I say like, if get owner role equals that role authority? And like else I do both of this. Let's see if that makes a difference at all. At this point, I'm kind of shooting in the dark. Let's see what sticks. Okay, so we have an error. So input trigger implementation is not a member. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Will we crash at all? Or... Okay. So we got this. Interesting. So it's definitely crashing. We know that. So before we let's just comment this part out. I just want to see what results we're getting. So I'd like to go here and I'd like to go here. So let's compile. You know, we're slowly making some progress. But again, like, I'm still on the fence of whether or not this should just be built into either the the player character class explicitly, or if it's okay if I can get this to work as like a separate component, you know? Because I'm doing some similar things here. Maybe it would just work easier, but I'm not sure. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll see if I can get it to work within the character itself, maybe. I don't know. So the input tag being passed here is none. And the owning ability system component is also somehow none. Interesting. Okay. Let's do a refactor here. So we're gonna just comment all this stuff out so nothing will break, hopefully. Got this. Okay. Or actually, we can just, instead of commenting that out, we can just go into the player. And where are we binding input? Here. Let's just do that. So it won't register anything. We're okay. So we have these bindability actions already, where we have, you know, binding the tag and everything. So what do I need to really make here? I need these functions. And these were what? Public? Generate these guys. And just grab stuff. We also need, let's get rid of this health component. It's gonna just confuse us. We need these variables, just these two, honestly. I guess they're under what? Private? that. Also, I don't think they need to be blueprint native event. Okay, that's fine. We need this activate server buffer ability input. Don't know if I need to do that, honestly. We'll see. I'll add it so we don't cause any problems. And then flush this. So I should be able to say, so let's break this down. So open input buffer, close input buffer, flush, and then activate buffer input ability. I don't know if I will need, but I should be able to say, you know, from here, I want to say, so if it is, so I think I can also say, I can add this to the actual function here. Maybe this is where I can add it. But what do I want to say? Let me grab all this. Now, what's the best way to get the ability system component? Sorry, I'm all over the place. I want to do something like this. Then we want to say something like this. That. So there's that. We have open, we have close, we have flushing, we have activate. What's the error down here? So basically when our input ability tag is pressed, we want to say what? We want to do this. Or do I want to say, I'll say something like this, like if not the input buffer open, like this, and then else if input tag is valid. Or actually, can I say something like, you know, if not input tag, oh god. Turn. Else, I want to just say something like this. I think that's everything, no? Let's just see what happens when we try to compile that. And we'll see what errors come along with it. Because maybe, like, if it has the matching tag, status block ability input. I don't know. Does that mean we don't want to buffer it either? I don't know. But let's just see if this even works. First, we'll check server, and then we'll check client. Because I know we're going to have to fix the animation notify state. Okay. Something's missing. Probably because this thing is replicated. Let's not make it replicated for now. Let's just take it one thing at a time. Okay, so we compiled. That's good. I'll be happy if it works on the server. That's a bonus, but that's kind of expected, you know. So the trick is trying to get it to work on the client, which I suck at. But we try to learn, try to get good. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, so let's do listen server first. Let's just check to see if our system's even working. No. I even know why, because I said it even before. We gotta change the notify state. So I should be able. I don't even think I need to cast to the elf character explicitly. We're just gonna say open input buffer. And we're gonna do close input buffer. Let's see. Okay, now the input buffer works. Again. So now, let's see what happens when I try to do it on the client. It doesn't work. I wonder why. So we have our character, right? It just seems like this input tag. Yeah, this ASC ability input tag thing here. Simple enough. Um, and then there's here. Oops. Okay. Is it because it's server reliable or anything like that? We can just try to nuke that and see what happens. Like, it's sort of upsetting that it's not working, but you know, that's just how it is. Well, hopefully that's what the problem is the fact that it was trying to just do server only. I am curious what would happen if I play with 2 instances. Okay. Done. So at least we get there. Because it's not empty. Has a questionable tag name. But it works. Okay. I'll accept that. Now let's just see what happens when I have 2 instances. I should really get rid of this debug menu. Okay. I know the replication breaks when I go off screen for too long, because now I'm like, you don't see me anymore, but at least we got that working. I just don't like that it's not its own component, you know? But maybe that's just how it has to be. I don't have to cast that anymore. I could just do player character, less dependencies to blueprints. Just clean that up. Notify begin. That's course, yeah, then tick. Just do cast to player character. That. Boom. Great. Okay. What do I want to do? I'm curious if I can. I want to see if I can write my own. I am GUI, but I should. Should clean up my code here. So I should probably have the input buffer stuff like live on its own. So public, we're just gonna say, you know, input buffer system. Make this nice and neat. Okay. I can just take the private stuff out as well. Okay. That's good. That's input buffer stuff. Input config. So there's input buffer component. Don't need any more. That's all well and good. I should be able to now just delete that class, the input buffer component class. I'm not going to deal with that. Unreal Engine, fast course, source, fast course, private first, game, character, components, input buffer. So let's get rid of that. Same thing for public. Okay. So we're good there. Let me exit out of that completely. Back to my project real quick. New project, show more options. There should be a generate visual project files. Okay, now I should be able to open up the project again, or in Writer again. So now I need to figure out how to kind of draw I'm GUI stuff. Yes. Because there's cog related things. So cog sample log categories. There's the log input stuff. Sample window team. Just gonna need to like look up cog and reverse engineer this for like the next hour or more, probably way more. So just like cog IM GUI. Is there anything like that here? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cog window. Hmm. So there's cog ability and then cog input. Mm-hmm. Let's see. UE5, C++, draw IM GUI window. So quite a few. So there's this cog input module. All that stuff. There's the gamepad. Data asset. Module. Is there just IM GUI somewhere? All cog. Yeah, here's the third party IM GUI stuff. There's this demo. Oof. There's a show demo window. That's where everything starts. Ta-da. IM GUI, push item with. I don't know. Is there any examples? So there's YouTube videos.
Hello, Git. So I'm going to copy the HTTPS URL by clicking this button here. No. In combination with, let's just say, hello, my friends, and the text, and I'll just do our, and it's all over to pile code. Windows not quite the right that this, or if I want to talk to a bit of it, and I can maybe make another. This is the second engine here. Just change so arg can be used to, so boolean and null points from off this. Notice it's still running. I can do this another one of these sort of hot reloads here.
Let's see if we can learn a little bit.
That the window is properly resized to the content. I lose the ability to manually resize now though. So notice I can't sort of click in that corner and drag. Okay, so that's a good demonstration of just this functor here. Let's change this to, we'll say like cube scale here. Associate that slide. Static, the way static later.
So I have to do like IamGUI begin, right? So I wonder, let's just, oh yes, I gotta just nuke that, nuke that. Am I able to say something like,
IamGUI actor, and that tick is tick are a cube. Go ahead and that tick, and that's because window.
So installing plugin, maybe I missed something.
Download we called plugin. This prompt is loading, and I'm going off of GitHub. Go direct, so you have so we can are built with it. Here we are, and we see this little demo window, toggle demo.
Do I have that toggle demo? Let's just recompile. Let's open our project back up and see where we stand. And I wonder,
This is going to be a short follow-up to my.
I'm trying to think, like,
it only actually affects one.
I want to learn how to do this, but like it's gonna be so time consuming to learn IamGUI. But maybe I'll just kind of like fall in love with it and edit everywhere. Maybe. But there should be a toggle demo if it was properly included, which I think it should. No? Or do I just have to also, because there's plugins, control rig, EFG, HI, so IamGUI is not there. Let's see if we can even open up the demo window. There's also some information here how to link IMGUI. Let's see. So it doesn't really have that. Okay, so I definitely don't have IMGUI correctly, at least. Now, can I include like cog? No. So cog. No. Cog common, cog debug. Now I got it. Okay. Let's see. Custom cog window.
That with the we say hello.
So begin world.
My
What's his
middle
thing?
work. I'm gonna leave this go swap to fit the second one, whether or not the one set that. We're just gonna pass in a null pointer. Arguing here, if I save this and I go
Okay, IMGUI window flags. Let me open this up in a different window here. We said null. Dot, right?
back over to auto resize, and so
Always auto resize. Um, guess let's just see what happens when we do that. Boom. My assumption is some window will be drawn when the input buffer opens. That's the dream, you know? Okay. Ensure condition failed G within frame scope. Okay. So we know that didn't really necessarily work. Now, it's because there's no end.
So again, if I
Hopefully this will look better. Or when I say look better, I mean actually work. Wait, I'm curious how I should be writing this thing. Let's see. It's not really shown anywhere. Maybe I have to turn on cog input. No. 0. Okay, so at least we're not getting a crash. Oh yeah, we're not seeing anything getting drawn. So I am GUI input toggle.
again, we're going to have the problem where we can't grab the demo window without toggling input. Now, there's a, I showed you that we could toggle input with the console, but another thing we can do.
I'm not too sure. Maybe because it's not on tick. I'm just gonna. There should be a tick here somewhere, right? Yeah. Third time's the charm, mayhap. These headphones are killing my head. I wonder if I'm gonna have like a flat head. So blueprint input BP input component is missing generated class asset tag. Okay, that's because we don't need the blueprint anymore. Force delete. Character clear. Am I able to open this up without things exploding? Yeah, good. Okay. I mean, isn't he doing it on tick?
Do is we can set up a hotkey for toggling that here. Wanted to do own custom win the first, and can just save this and I go back.
Or is it because there's no like I am GUI text? Let's see what happens. Or maybe I'm doing a hot reload with this stuff isn't very smart. Maybe that's also the problem. I should probably watch more tutorials though. Like once I'm able to draw what I need to draw, like at least I am GUI wise, I would probably need to know what I need to list, right? Like I would want to draw when the input buffer is open and then when it closes again, and then in between showing which inputs were buffered. And which ones ended up being selected. And then when it closes again, I guess when it gets redrawn again, I don't know if I should just add another one or should just kind of clear. Let's just see if something breaks. Yes. Okay, so that didn't work. I don't know if that's necessary. Let's look at begin again. So forgot to call IamGUI new frame. So is this like tutorial that's on Unreal? Like hella outdated? I wonder if there's any other references. It seems like that's like one of the only tutorials. We'll have to find out. So a default window called debug is automatically stacked every frame. Begin end can be called multiple times during the frame with the same window name to append content. The window name is used as a unique identifier to preserve window information. You can use these markers. What was wrong? I saw like an error. See, are we get a crash? Okay. So still not really working. Like, is there anything I could do here? Not sure. Render tick. What kind of classes? So fcog window. Its own thing. Okay. Hmm. I think I'd be wasting my time if I'm trying to do this. Yeah, there's third party, there's IMGUI and IMGUI plot. And I don't know if I should just include that myself in this project, but I already have, the cog plugin. Like, can I not just reuse IMGUI in a similar way? Hmm. Not sure. So there is already include imgui.h. Is that even a thing? It is a thing. But it breaks when I wanted to try to use it. I don't know what I would want to do. I should really just put my mind to it and do it. Before we debug system. Let me try one more time. GUI begin. Input buffer. All. GUI window flags always resize. GUI. Next. Test. GUI end. And then I should just do like hash if with editor. If. Let's try this one more time. See, I'm assuming we're gonna get the same results that we just got, where we'll just kind of crash out. Let's see if this will be any different. I wonder if there's any learning resources on IMGUI. There's that one tutorial, but is there more? Me wonder. Yeah, still nothing. Again, it's complaining about the new frame. Forgot to call IMGUI new frame. And I don't know why. And I don't think IMGUI new frame does anything. I just say true here. No. We'll try that one more time, and then we'll probably just have to drop it until next time. I don't know how much time I really want to be wasting trying to get this to even get it to work, you know. Maybe in the meantime, I think I know of an article that did something similar to like the ability stacking. UE5 gameplay ability stacking stacks. Like there's stacks within gameplay effects. So I hope I don't get clogged with that kind of stuff, because that's not what I'm looking for. cooldowns to abilities. Ooh, gameplay tag stack counter. Maybe I can use gameplay effects. I can imagine we would want there to be like some counter, right? And we would have, when the ability is given, we would add a gameplay effect that tells you how many stacks you have. And every time we execute, we remove a stack, and then we would like have, it wouldn't be explicitly a cooldown. But it would be something like that, right? And again, we're not getting this information correct. So error check, new frame sanity checks. Font atlas not built. Okay. Let's see, UE5 C++, I am GUI. Okay, so in your initialization code after setting up IamGUI, you need to create an IamGUI context. Maybe that's part of the tutorial that I skipped. Let's see. So testing the plugin. So installing building plugin, testing plugin, configuring C++ project.
This is that build data directory.
So include imgui.h.
Solve staging enable load. And it was 10
Boom.
CS file.
Hey Talos, hey! I managed to catch a few minutes of the stream. Awesome.
And ensure that
yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be streaming for. Maybe a couple minutes, but.
Now just recommit code to just and start is on there. I'm going to add.
Can I just do show debug window then, or show demo? Show demo window. But it feels like, yeah, I'm missing the context then. Maybe I can find where we're using this. The cog imgui context.cpp. There's all this stuff. Am I able to say, like, cog imgui stuff? Like, I wonder. Yeah, my assumption is this is going to crash in a very similar fashion. same idea. So is there like, cog, GUI? Not sure. A log, GUI. No. Yeah, this is all nonsense. Yeah. I'll have to do some sort of like independent research, I think, on GUI. But yeah, I want to start thinking about this ability stack, how that could possibly work. Maybe charges is what I'm looking for. The charging skill, probably not that one. Time manipulation, no. Boop, boop. Maybe it's in the gameplay framework one from Risk of Rain. Ability stack, yes. Exactly what I was looking for. So ability stacking is a common feature in MOBAs. I would want this maybe for my dodge ability. So a gameplay stack recharger. Designers can set the max stacks, the recharge duration, and the recharge ability for each gameplay skill. So stacking. I wonder if I could just take this information, integrate it into my own ability. So after the skill has been granted through a skill set, the stack attributes are automatically changed to reflect the skill's max stacks. So this is possible using a dynamic gameplay effect at runtime. So the gameplay effect is like what attribute? Current stack info attribute equals u ability stack set get current attribute by input ID. And then the recharge gameplay effect. So the RGE is an archetype GE that increases the stack attribute associated with the skill by 1. It has both duration and period equal to the desired recharge duration. So how could this work? So I came up with a system that utilizes a gameplay stack recharger. Designers can set up max stacks, blah, blah, blah. After the skill has been granted through an ability set, stack attributes are automatically changed to reflect the skill's max stacks. So that's where I'm kind of confused about is this stuff. So get current attribute by input ID. Is there anything under attributes for that? So characters in Risk of Rain have 4 active skill slots: primary, secondary, utility, and special. A skill can have multiple charges, with effects being able to increase and decrease it. The skill set has the icon. Yeah, the ability stack. The ability doesn't really have much of an example of what that looks like. But basically, creates a new stack change. So current equals max stats, overrides it. So if the new value is less than the max stack count, he applies the recharge effect and starts recharging. Okay. Don't really need that. For the I am GUI, I'm just gonna forget about that. Yeah, let's not worry about that. Close out of that. Damn. I don't know. I'm not lost. I just don't have all my thoughts in my head. So I know I should break down this into a couple different things. Like I know I need a unique gameplay ability class for this. So let's start from there. And we have at least a reference point. We have gameplay ability system, gameplay ability. So we have type, incast, duration, instant, primary, secondary, ultimate. I don't even know if we're gonna have an ultimate slot anymore, but the empty slot, and then maybe they should all have, like, you know, stacks. Or it should be something else. So yeah, there's type, incast, duration, instant. I think it should be its own separate thing. I don't think it should be an enum. I think there just needs to be some stacking information. and then like a unique ability that just has that enabled by default. So let's just add some new properties, I guess. Thank you so much for the subscription there. Much appreciated there from YouTube. Azra DM. Thank you so much for subscribing there on YouTube. Welcome to the fun. So edit, defaults only, blueprint, read only, category equals gas course, ability, stacking. I can maybe say like int 30 or uint 32. No, just 32. Number of so max stacks. One. And maybe another U property here. Same thing. Float. Stack recharge duration is -1 for by default. A new property. For now, I'm not going to do it as a attribute set kind of thing. I'm just going to prototype something else instead. I think something like that is okay. Now let's make a new C++ class. Gas course gameplay ability. Then, oops, I did not mean to open the Epic Launcher. Whoopsies. So I have aimcast ability. So it's kind of like this. So UGAS course stacks or stacked gameplay ability. I'm doing what? Public gameplay abilities plugin abilities stacking. I gotta do that for just a second so I can create class. Okay. And I probably want to have a boolean that's controlling this. that. Put that back up. Make it bigger for you guys. And then yeah, let's look at my incast ability real quick. I just want to see what it's. Definitely want something like this. More minimal. And I want to say what? He has ability stacks. It's true. Then I think it has to be meta edit condition. Edit condition equals B has ability stacks, but not this one. These ones. I think that's correct. Let's see. Let's see if that compiles. And then I think that's what we're going to call it for today. We've been streaming for a couple hours at this point. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so everything. Did that all compile? Oh no, it didn't because I had the editor open. Whoopsie. I gotta find better IM GUI tutorials though. So let's see if we can make a gameplay ability from this custom class, and we should be able to see the properties and everything like that. And then we can kind of take it from there for next time. So I know I wanted to do it with dodge. So let's reparented that one instead. So abilities, test examples, dodge. GA dodge. class defaults, so stacking, has ability stacks, boom, like that, and then there you go. So ideally, we should be able to kind of move from there, you know. And it should be. I have to make sure that the max number, the current number of stacks, are always the same. I'll have to learn. I gotta remember how to set that up. But yeah, let me just reparent this. Back gameplay ability, reparent, boom. And it should still just work, right? And we can always play around with how fast it recharges. Maybe like, you know, if you when you have like a perk or something and you like, you know, dodge through somebody, it increases the rate of the cooldown or something like that. So overall, yeah, that's what we want to try to do next. So that's when we're going to end it for today. So thank you everybody for watching. I definitely appreciate it. For those watching from YouTube, make sure to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed already. For those watching from Twitch, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, make sure to do what you can to support the channel. For those who aren't already part of our Discord, feel free to join our Discord. I'll see if the bot's going to work. Yes, it is. Feel free to join our Discord server. You can check me out on TikTok as well. TikTok. So do current stack need to be editable in Blueprint? Most likely not. Probably it does for this, at least this prototype. I'll need to just manually be able to overwrite it. Because every time I use it, I want to subtract one value from the current number of stacks, right? And then somehow be able to add it back on. So that's probably why the other guy made like a stack recharger kind of ability, which would make sense because this thing needs to kind of happen in the background. So yeah, that's what we're gonna have to try to figure that out. So we'll continue doing that this week for sure. Using that project, the Risk of Rain example, as our example, and then we'll see how we can draw it onto the UI. So thanks a lot, guys. See you soon. Have a good night.